This is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're at the 9th annual LD Micro main event in Bel Air, California. With me right now is Ramesh Kumar from Onconova Therapeutics, publicly traded company with the symbol ONTX. Ramesh, welcome to SNNLive.
Thank you.
It's great to have you. So for our audience, let's start with an overview of the company.
Thank you very much. Onconova Therapeutics, ONTX on NASDAQ, is a patient-focused company, and we are working on problems in blood cancer which are not today solved. Patients with these problems have very short time to live, and we are doing everything possible, including a phase 3 trial, just completed phase 2 trial, to help these patients.
So you're developing some therapeutics, pharmaceuticals. Tell me in specific what exactly.
Specifically, we are developing a new drug, and the name of the drug is Rigosertib, Rigo-Sertib, and this drug works by a completely new way, and we need a completely new way to attack this disease, and the name of the disease is MDS, myelodysplastic syndromes. In this disease, patient's bone marrow is shot. The bone marrow doesn't work, and the patient can develop leukemia, bleeding disorders, infections, all leading to death. Our goal, since 2005, we've been pursuing a therapeutic that could help these patients. Luckily today we are in phase 3 trials.
So you said that you're developing a new way to treat these blood cancers. Tell me, what is it that you're developing that's different than what's currently available?
Wonderful. Currently the two drugs that are available, one sold by Celgene, very large company, and another sold by a Japanese company, Eisai, are good drugs, but unfortunately they work only for a minority of the patients. Typically, they can help 30% of the patients, 70% of the patients do not get help by these two approved drugs. Also, once a patient takes these drugs work for a short time, sometimes 1 year, and then the patient fails therapy, or the therapy fails the patient. Either case, these patients, after these available drugs, need a new option, and the 70% of the patients who are currently not addressed, they need a new option. What I mean by a new way is that we are understanding why these patients fail existing therapies and what causes a disease that is so difficult to treat. Our drug, fortunately, can address some of these problems which have been just discovered in the last 4 to 5 years.
And where was the science developed?
The science has a long history. I jokingly tell people that our company was founded in the last century, which is true. We started our quest in 1998. We were private for 15 years, and we went public in 2013. And we were very encouraged by the support of organizations like Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, which gave us $10 million for our first phase 3 trial. That tells you how important this disease is to patient advocacy organizations and for patients in general. So we started this program by licensing technology from two academic groups. One was the well-known Temple University of Philadelphia, and the other one, the well-known Marie Curie Institute of London. And that was in 1998. So since that time, the company has invested a lot of money, time, and effort to develop this new drug, which we put in the clinic in 2005, and the drug is Rigosertib.
So for what you're developing, does it work with chemotherapy or with standard of care? Can you comment on that?
That's a very, very, very profound question. As you know, we all know patients with cancer who've been subjected to chemotherapy, and they suffered the consequence of chemotherapy. Our drug does not cause the side effects that are associated with chemotherapy. And even better, our drug makes chemotherapy better. Indeed, in our new trial, where we just announced phase 2 results, and we will start a phase 3 program next year, we are combining with a known drug, azacitidine, which is a chemotherapeutic. And together, these drugs are not additive, but synergistic, meaning that 1 plus 1 is not 2, but it is 11. So that power of synergy is going to take us to the next stage. The first stage is to prove that Rigosertib can help patients by itself, which is our ongoing phase 3 trial, which we will complete in 2017, just a year from now. And the other one, a phase 3 trial, will start by combining the power of our new drug with the power of an existing chemotherapy.
So you mentioned a little bit about where you're at in the clinic. Can you expand upon some of your clinical development and what you're hoping to accomplish from what you can tell me?
Certainly, our clinical development is very ambitious. Right now, we are doing trials on 4 continents. We are in US, Europe, Australia, and Japan. Just in Japan, we have 30 sites seeking patients for our trial. And that is because we have a wonderful partnership in Japan with a company called Biopharmaceuticals, and they're doing the trials at their own cost in Japan with our drug in our phase 3 trial. But we are doing, just to give you an example, we put our first patient in the phase 3 trial just about a year ago at MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston. A few months later, in April, we enrolled the first 2 patients in Europe and Austria. And then a few months later in July, our partner Symbio enrolled a patient in Japan. So currently we are in more than 25 countries worldwide and in more than 130 clinical sites or hospitals. And the reason for that is that MDS is a disease of older age and it is seen worldwide. The incidence is high in US because patients live long, and it's high in Western Europe and in Japan. So to address the needs of these patients who currently have nothing available, we felt that we need to cast a net wide. We need to go on all 4 continents and do this trial as fast as we can.
And what's your background? How did you get into this?
My background is in science. I have a PhD in molecular biology from the University of Illinois. Subsequently, I trained at the National Cancer Institute, which is a premier institution in the US in Maryland. And subsequently, I worked at Princeton University. And then I joined industry about 30 years ago. My first job was at Bristol Myers Squibb, which is a big cancer company. And then subsequently, I've been an entrepreneur. Onconova, which I co-founded in 1998, is my 3rd enterprise. So I have a mixture of science, some care for patients, and some business acumen. So we've been able to sustain this venture for the last 17 years.
And where can our audience go and find more information about the company?
The easiest way to get more information is to look at our website, www.onconova.com. And in this website, you will see links to many papers, publications we have published. We published 2 fantastic papers in 2016 in the journal Cell and in the journal Lancet Oncology. And in addition, we have a lot of information that can help a patient who has a disease that we are addressing. Also, please follow our SEC filings. We are a publicly traded company. Our ticker is ONTX.
My name is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're here at the 9th Annual LD Micro Main Event in Bel Air, California. With me again has been Ramesh Kumar from Onconova Therapeutics, publicly traded company with the symbol ONTX. Ramesh, thank you so much again for joining me.
Thank you, Robert.